Hi, I'm Naomi Hess, and for this mapping exercise, I chose to focus on the Lloyd district because I wanted to choose a district that I didn't really know that much about, and I wanted to learn more. So I started out by outlining the residential and commercial zoning in the district, and I found out that it was mostly commercial since it was supposed to be modeled to be a new downtown, supposedly. And there's only about 1,000 residents that are in the district, and they live on the east side next to the Lloyd Center Mall, with a few exceptions towards the middle of the district near I-5. Since I was originally interested in zoning, I also show the original blocks that were zoned in 1905 that were residential. Since the district was originally intended to be a mixed-income suburb, which obviously never came to fruition, as we can see today. I also outlined the max light rail lines and streetcar lines and their stops, as well as some of the main points of visitation in the district, which includes the Moda Center, the Oregon Convention Center, and the Lloyd Center Mall. Moving forward into the effective mappings, I decided to begin comparing the Lloyd district to downtown, since, like I mentioned before, it was modeled to be a second downtown as a business center. To start this, I started looking at the green space versus the paved space, which paved space being parking lots and garages, and the crime that was associated with it. In the Lloyd district, there are 35 parking lots and only 3 designated green spaces, whereas in downtown, there were only 23 parking lots and 11 designated green spaces. And one of those green spaces being the Tom McCall Waterfront Park, which takes up the entire length of downtown. So there was a lot better ratio between green space and paved space downtown. Taking a look at crime, both districts had a correlation of crime with the general vicinity of the parking lots, as well as around the malls in each district. So moving on to the critical mapping portion, I wanted to see how these factors of green space and paved space and the crime that affected the walkability and the overall pedestrian experience in both districts. To map the walkability of each district, I looked at the walk score for both and mapped the block size, bike routes, transit lines in comparison, and overlaid the map showing the actual walk score of each district. So both districts had a fairly high walk score. However, the Lloyd district had some areas that had a poorer score in like the mid-70s. Ironically, the main attractions that I outlined in my first map that drew people into the Lloyd district actually had the lowest walk score because of their block size. The block size around like the Moda Center and the Convention Center, they were much larger than the 200 by 200 foot standard Portland block that we know. So yeah, the walkability score around there was like very low. The large blocks also affected the bike routes, since there are fewer through streets through the district. So a lot of the roads didn't have bike lanes or larger shoulders to accommodate. And in downtown, the walk score was above 90 for the entire district because it follows the standard 200 by 200 foot grid, which was a lot more pedestrian friendly than the large irregular large blocks from the Lloyd district. The only non-standard block size was that of the Tom McCall Waterfront Park, but it's a park that has street access along the entire park, so pedestrians can enter and exit at any point if they wanted to. The public transportation downtown is really centralized and well placed, and there's a lot more effective bike lanes there, so that impacted the walk score in a positive way. And the low walk score listed on the downtown map is not so much a low walk score, but the lowest in the district. It was still above 90, but it was on the Tom McCall Waterfront Park, and that was just because there was on a immediate connection with the street at that point of the park. So thank you for listening to my presentation, and please feel free to leave any comments and questions on concept board for me. Thank you.